Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tousi TV. This is your global news channel. I'm Tousi, and we come to you guys with the latest news update from the United Kingdom as the body cam footage has now been released from Henry Nowak's murder, and the way the UK police responded to this attack, and of course the political scandal that is now spreading across Westminster over this, the reaction from number 10 Downing Street and the Prime Minister's office. About 5 minutes ago, we received a statement that the Prime Minister of this country does not believe that we have two-tier policing in the UK. Henry Nowak was killed because he was white, because he was male. The police didn't care. Now, in case you don't know the story, in case you're one of the few people who haven't actually been following this around the world, I'll give you a summary. We're going to show you the body cam footage. Just a quick heads up warning. It's disturbing, of course. It's been blurred, so you won't be able to see anything graphic in that sense. But obviously, it's still disturbing. But it's very important for the truth to come out. It's very important for at least some news media outlet to report this properly, because all the others have been absolutely shambolic. All right, Henry Nowak. Let's talk about this young man. He was only 18 years old. He was a first-year student at the University of Southampton, studying accounting and finance. On his way home one night in December 2025, he had a confrontation with Vikram Digwa, who is a Sikh. Vikram Digwa was carrying a large 21 centimeters blade openly in public. He also did have one of these small kirpan, the little ceremonial knives that the Sikh would have. The first reaction when this news came out a while ago, people thought that Digwa used the kirpan, and then the political establishment's usual reaction was, oh, well, the problem was the kirpan, the ceremonial knife. Well, we have to ban that. If you ban that, then everything's going to be fine. Yeah, sure, that's going to fix everything. But he was actually carrying a larger knife, and he used that. Henry was stabbed 5 times. Now, again, in case you don't know the story, you might think, okay, so this was just a confrontation. They had a fight and 2 people, one of them stabbed the other one. It gets worse because of the racial hatred that Digwa and his family had towards white people. First things first, Vikram Digwa's brother called 999, called the police and lied. He lied that Henry Nowak attacked them first and he was racist, because in case you don't know, in the UK, saying racist things is a crime. I know, yeah. But then it gets worse than that, because his mother on the right-hand side, Kiran Kaur, she actually assisted the murderer by hiding the weapon, which was still found by the police later on in the house, because she's an idiot. She has now also been convicted, but we have to wait until, I believe, 27th of June until we receive her sentencing for assisting this. Vikram Digwa has now been sentenced to life. Now, you might wonder, well, that's good. The United Kingdom has life sentences. He's going to be in prison for the rest of his... No. Life means 21 years in prison. So the minimum term is now 21 years. And he can come out after that. Unless he does something bad in prison, then, he might stay around for some more time, another few years. Then the parole board will review it again. So life in the UK does not mean life. In this case, we should also suspend the judge, William Mosley, for his pathetic 21-year sentence. Now, let's go to the footage. I'm going to show you the reaction from the political opposition parties as well, and the way the police reacted. This is vile, what you're about to see. Just a heads up, again, it's been blurred, but you can hear the conversation. Henry was stabbed. The police go to him. They handcuff him. He says, I've been stabbed, I'm bleeding. And the police says, no, you haven't, you're lying. And then he dies in the hands of the police. because the police were more concerned because the brother of the attacker said, well, he said something racist to us. So the police were more concerned that Henry is white and he might have said something politically incorrect. That is a problem. We need to handcuff him. But somebody apparently stabbed him, but that don't worry about that. That's not really a big issue in the United Kingdom. Let's go to this video, then come back.
He was on the bin on the other side of this gate.
He's jumped over these fences and stuff like that.
And he's up here.
Away, mate.
He's obviously fallen from there and he slipped from there.
There's other shoes left over there, mate.
What's your name, mate? Huh? Has anyone been hurt other than him?
Yeah, me.
He's grabbed my
brother. He's took my turban off, started grabbing my head.
Are you injured?
Yeah, I've got swollen eye, little bruises.
Alright, just step back a little bit for me. Someone flag these down.
Got this stud.
Right, let's get you out of there, shall we? Oh.
I was in bed asleep. Whenever we just find me up there, look, someone's attacked me.
I can't breathe.
Grab his other arm.
That's Henry.
What's happened to you, alright?
This stud.
You've been stabbed? Whereabouts? I don't think you have, mate.
That's what, and then I'm like, you've got nothing, I want to keep you up.
Hand?
I can't breathe.
Put the hand in the cuff, mate.
Says I can't breathe.
This is like
Can't breathe.
times this has happened to us. We've been walking, we parked,
Can we get a van for
we've had people racist
90 foot.
nothing happened.
He's saying he's been stabbed, so
Where
let's
is it
just
you
check
think you've
him.
been stabbed? In the face? Oh no, but we have to check, don't we?
Right.
In the face?
Just get these to back off, get their details and that, and I'll keep hold of him.
Should we
Right, keep you on your side, mate. You better retrieve then.
Say again.
Saying to him, I'm keeping him on his side. We were set up when we had him here, but he didn't like it. What's your name, mate? At the moment, you are under arrest. That's for assault, so you do not have to say anything. May harm and defence if you do not mention when questioned. So we'll talk to you later line of court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence, alright? He's going to be sick, I think.
Check. They're not even checking.
What's his name?
They just want you to call it.
Yeah, we've got this male. He's
just-
been beat up. Are we able to get an ambulance, please? His pupils aren't even reacting.
Yeah, he's dead. Vile. Absolutely vile. The fascinating thing about this has been going on for months now, right? Because of the court procedure. But then, especially the last few days, and the beginning of this is what we initially had. So, the police laughed as Henry was dying. They took his phone and his dad's phone to search for racism. That was the priority, to search for racism, right? So these are the messages. There were two 999 calls from his brother. The other one was from a lady in a flat that told the police she thought somebody has been stabbed. Only one got reported. Took Henry's phone and his dad's, checked back through every single message to see if there had been ever a racist comment or a joke. Just the police to deal with now, and as they thought Henry was a racist and laughed at him when he told them he had been stabbed. They were also told by a neighbor, but believed Digwa, that have apologized, but I think there will be more to come. So firstly, there were two phone calls to the emergency. One of them was from the neighbor saying somebody got stabbed. The other one was from the Digwa family saying, oh, a white person was racist towards us. The police ignored the stabbing phone call. They only addressed the one that said some white guy is being racist, apparently. The reaction from Tommy Robinson, who's going to be, there's going to be a massive protests, by the way, being organized across the United Kingdom over the next few hours, and Tousi TV will be giving you guys the live coverage from 6 p.m. UK time. It is currently, if you're watching this live, 1:40 p.m. in London, in the UK. Southampton police station, outside the Southampton police station, the people responsible for this, is going to be a massive protest. Tommy Robinson is going to be there. Our team will be obviously providing you guys the live coverage as well. But Tommy's reaction, I'm going to show you now quickly, is that Henry was obviously murdered by the anti-white police's policies that target white people. Let's quickly go to Tommy.
The murder of Henry Nowak. It took 2 minutes to go onto Hampshire Police's website. Yeah, Hampshire Police. This is where this institutional racism. This is why the white boy was handcuffed. This is why, whilst dying, this is their policies. Okay. The murder of George Floyd by serving police officers in the USA was a pivotal moment for policing in the UK. How the fuck was it a pivotal moment? A dead crackhead who died of a drug overdose in the United States in a legal hold by a police officer. But anyway, driving the need for real change. Whilst a tragic event happened in another country, policing across the UK has over many years had a strained relationship with some communities. Nationally, the Police Race Action Plan, which is where this problem comes from, was created to address the racial disparities and distrust associated with police in particular for those in minority communities. We will pursue offenders and deal with offences that cause the most harm to our ethnic minorities. Not the most harm to the public, the most harm to our ethnic minorities. Address disproportionate victimisation. Make sure that staff and officers are trained to recognise and deal with crimes that impact most of our ethnic minorities. Do you know who the biggest impact is against? It's us. How many ethnic minority girls were raped from one end of the country to the other? I'll tell you how many, not fucking many. It was all young white English girls. Right? And you didn't charge any one of those people who raped them, calling them dirty little white bitches, with a hate crime. Why was this Sikh man not charged with a hate crime? He made it about race when he rang the police and said white boy, and he accused him of racism. So it was a racial murder. That's what this was. He was racially targeted by that man, and he was murdered, and your police officers done nothing because he was white. Because you were so scared of this. So the officer who handcuffed him, the officer ignored his plea after plea after plea for an ambulance. He's been stabbed. They fucking ignored him. Would they ignored him if he was non-white? You bet your life they went off, because their training wouldn't have allowed them to. This all comes down to police training, government training. The hierarchy of the police, the head of that police is responsible. Your hands are dirty because you created this atmosphere. Not just the handcuffing officer, you, the government, Keir Starmer, every one of you brought in these policies that attack white people. That's what it is. This is an attack. This is not the white population. You know, for years, if you look at education, white working class are the biggest underachievers. Now, minority groups are excelling whilst our children, and I used to put it down to them being forgotten and neglected. We're not forgotten and neglected. We're targeted. Targeted by every government institution with hate against us. An unfair system has been created. An unfair system of funding, an unfair system of love, care, of everything. And it's against white people. And that is why Henry Nowak is dead, because he was white. So from when he was stabbed to when they actually got the ambulance, an hour against all of his pleas. An hour. You murdered him. He was murdered. Now, this isn't the moment for real fucking change. Not George Floyd, a dead crackhead in America. A little white boy student with no criminal record who was a loving kid is who's dead. Not criminal. You killed him. You killed him. But just going through this website just infuriates me. It fucking infuriates you. Read what they're doing to us. I'll be there tonight, 6 p.m. at Southampton Police Station to report as people are coming out to show their outrage at what this police force has allowed. This is a police force which tied the hands behind the back of a dying little white kid because of their diversity training. That is why. Because they're scared all the time. This has got to be a moment for change, man. But see you at 6 p.m. whoever's going there.
And if you want change, change has to be drastic. This is not reactionary. People like myself have been calling for proactive change. And change means, firstly, the system must completely be reformed in terms of sentencing. That's the first one. The judge still had powers, but the judge decided to be lenient with 21 years term. The police officers who claim to be scared of their politically correct trainings and restrictions and regulations, obviously change all that But at the same time, the police who keep telling us that, well, if there is more scrutiny on our police officers, then they can't do their job because they will be scared that if they mess up somewhere, then they will be in trouble. Yes. If somebody's life is about to be lost, I don't really care about your job being at risk. You should be punished. You can't just say, whoopsie, we didn't see that he was bleeding. It's not really a whoopsie. It's not like you're reversing your car and you just a little bit bump into some other car. Yeah, that's a bit of a whoopsie. When people die, that whoopsie is big. The police officer should not just be sacked. They should be prosecuted. They should be sentenced. And they need to learn. Others need to learn. You need to be on your toes every single day. And you say, well, we're already restricted. Yes, good. You should be even more restricted. You need to know that if you mess up, you will be punished. Another reaction is from the leader of Reform UK, Nigel Farage. Let's quickly go to him.
He was actually treated in a way that meant an accusation of a racial slur was treated more seriously than an act of murder. What does he say? I can't breathe. Familiar words? Remember career criminal George Floyd, who died in appalling circumstances in Midwest America a few years ago. Remember the reaction to that and the way the police behaved. Within a few days, Keir Starmer was taking the knee. Black Lives Matter exploded all over the country. Churchill's statue was defaced. The cenotaph was vandalised. And yet, what has the public reaction been from our leaders and politicians, and indeed, to be frank, much of the media to this? Silence. Absolute silence. Proof, if ever there was any, that we're living in a two-tier culture in this country where the rights and privileges of white people matter less than those of ethnic minorities.
But the fascinating thing about this is that it hasn't necessarily been silence from the political left. The reactionary left, guess what the reactionary left-wingers in this country have been doing over the last few days? They've been calling to ban the kirpan, the ceremonial knife. The left in this country think that the solution is to ban the kirpan. Number one, he wasn't murdered using a kirpan. It was a bigger knife, not a ceremonial one. But the left said, well, it was a ceremonial knife, but he was carrying one, so if you ban the knife, then nobody will get killed. Knives don't kill people. People kill people. It's the same argument that the left used in the United States with guns. But he didn't even use a ceremonial knife. It was a 21 centimeter knife that the mother then decided to hide. Not in a competent way, because they still found the knife anyway. It's idiotic the way the left react to this, because they don't want to target and actually focus on the criminals. They want to focus on the tool that the criminals use. In this case, they didn't even use a kirpan. But the media around the world are fascinating. Let's go to New York Times. Thanks to Benny. New York Times. 0 mentions of Henry Nowak. But George Floyd, 6,397 mentions. Priorities, right? Although, over the last few minutes, over the last couple of hours, CNN are finally reporting this. So that's a first. And some of the other media outlets in the West, CBC, I think they just did 1 page in Canada, but that was it. So well done for that. But one of the biggest scandals is also the fact that the brother of Vikram Digwar called 999, called the police and lied that they were the ones attacked by Henry and they're the victims and he was racist, and the police believed him without even checking anything. Let's go to, we now have the audio recording of that phone call to the police.
Police emergency.
Yeah, we just been attacked by someone racially. Yeah, this.
Right.
He just attacked it, took his to start. Sorry? Huh? Sorry, we just got attacked racially by some white person.
Right, okay. Whereabouts are you?
We're on Belmont Road.
Just out in the street, are you?
Sorry?
You're just in the street?
Yeah, literally. I just parked up my car to come home, and he's attacked my brother.
Wow. The police ignored the other phone call, which is interesting, right? By the neighbor saying that Henry was stabbed. The police in Hampshire also posted this statement, which they have now deleted, which is very, very convenient, saying our officers were misled at the scene, including denial of weapon use. They quickly switched to life-saving aid within minutes. But as laid out in our statement, the medical evidence shows that the injuries were not survivable. A very sad case. Our thoughts are with his family. Well, they've now deleted that because the evidence is out. You did not do, what do they call it? Life-saving aid within minutes. Henry was begging you that he couldn't breathe and he was attacked, he was stabbed, and your officers were laughing, saying, no, you haven't. Where was this life-saving first aid or whatever? They had to delete this now because it was embarrassing. It gets worse. Over the last few hours, we received a statement from the Digwa family, the family of the murderer. They are asking for privacy, ladies and gentlemen. They are asking for privacy, saying, the loss of a young life is a grief that no family should ever have to carry. We are deeply sorry for the pain and suffering the Nowak family has had to endure. We love Vikram. We will continue to love him. That love does not stand in opposition to the sorrow we feel for the Nowak family. Both are real and both will remain with us for the rest of our lives. We would give anything to turn back time, so the path of both Henry and Vikram never crossed that night. We cannot change what has happened. We just hope that no further pain is caused in its name. We apologize to the Sikh community for our son's actions, which have unfairly brought the community into disrepute. We ask that this tragedy is not used by anyone to inflame division or hostility towards any community. We now ask for privacy as we come to terms with what lies ahead. Thank you, Digwa family. The same family that lied to the police and hid the weapon and didn't do anything to help Henry, did the exact opposite. They now want privacy, guys. Interesting. This is not a normal situation where one member of the family does something bad and the rest of them are innocent, like, oh, we haven't done anything. You're all complicit. What is this nonsense? Filth, absolute filth. Henry's father, with the rest of Henry Nowak's family, also came out outside the court to make a short statement. Let's quickly go to him.
I am Henry Nowak's father. To my left is my daughter Olivia Nowak, Henry's oldest sister, and to her left is Lucy Ross, Henry Nowak's mother. The jury confirmed what we've always known. Henry's life was taken from him unlawfully, violently, and without justification. Henry was 18 years old. He was kind, ambitious, loved and full of promise. He had his whole life ahead of him, a degree to finish, places to see, and a future to build. That future was stolen from him, and no verdict or sentence will ever give it back. Henry did nothing wrong. He was one of the kindest, friendliest and most inclusive people you could ever hope to meet. He was amazing in every way. On the 3rd of December last year, Henry was walking home from a night out with his university football teammates when he encountered Vikram Digwa, a man openly carrying a large knife on the streets of Britain. That knife was used to take Henry's life. He should have been safe walking home. Instead, he became another young life lost to the brutal reality of knife crime in this country. Henry had been stabbed multiple times, and as his chest filled with blood, he tried to escape. He was chased, abused, and filmed by Vikram Digwa and others. When police arrived, Henry was lying on the floor, barely able to sit up and plainly in severe medical distress. With his final words, he told officers that he could not breathe. He told them he had been stabbed. In fact, Henry told officers that he could not breathe 9 times. He told them he had been stabbed 4 times. The response from one officer was, "I don't think you have, mate." The police have said they were misled by the murderer and that the scene when they arrived was complex. Unfortunately, it seems to us the truth is much simpler. The police were told by our son himself and by a member of the public who called 999 that they heard someone shout that they had been stabbed. But the police did not believe them. Henry was pulled across the gravel, his hands forced behind his back, and he was placed in handcuffs. Instead of being treated as a dying victim, police formally arrested Henry for assault and read him his rights. That was the last thing he heard. Henry did not die with dignity. He did not die with the care he deserved. He lost consciousness before anyone believed him. Let me be absolutely clear. We hold Vikram Digwa solely and 100% responsible for the brutal murder of our son. But Henry should not have died on the streets of Southampton in police custody. The way he was treated was inhumane and degrading. His murderer, however, was afforded decency. He was believed. He was not handcuffed when arrested. He was not handcuffed when transported to the police station. As far as we understand, he was never handcuffed at all. And, as Vikram Digwa himself told the court, whilst under arrest for Henry's murder, police even took him to the kitchen so he could choose his food. The contrast is unbearable.
Insane, right? We're just going to quickly go live to the House of Commons where the Home Secretary is speaking. Let's have a check.
Every public service needs to bear that in mind. He referred to the police anti-racism commitment. He will obviously remember, I'm sure, that the race action plan for the police began life under the previous Conservative government. In fact, I'm old enough to remember when Theresa May called out disproportionate use of stop and search for black communities in particular. He will know that the way that policing works in this country is by consent. It is important that the police retain the confidence of all of the communities that they police, and that there has, I think he would acknowledge, being a history and a context here relating to racism and the police. Whatever changes are made, it is important that nobody overcorrects or course corrects such that all of us as citizens are no longer equal before the law. And this government will always ensure that in fulfilling their sacred duties to keep our communities safe, that the police always act without fear and favour and always ensure that every citizen is treated equally. But I'm sure he wouldn't want to do down or ignore historic and legitimate concerns that there have been from some communities about institutional racism as well as differential treatment. I condemn all types of differential and every type of differential treatment. I do not stand for it. My own track record as a government minister shows I will always act when there is evidence of differential treatment, and it is absolutely vital that that message is heard loud and clear across the whole of our country.
Talking nonsense, absolute nonsense.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and can I thank the Secretary of State for her statement. Henry was...
The whole thing's stupid. We're not listening to his nonsense because it is exactly what they do.
I'm Henry Nowak.
Every single time. The idiocy of the House of Commons.
Firstly,
We're going to go to, this is worse, but we have to show this because it's part of the, of course, reporting objectively. The Chief Constable of Hampshire, Alexis Boone, has now apologized. This goes back to what I'm about to show you. When the Chief Constable apologized to the family of Chris Cabba, the gangster who was shot up, right? This is the way the Chief Constable apologized. Compare that to now. Let's quickly go to this again in case you don't remember this.
Firstly, I would like to offer my heartfelt condolences to the family of Chris Cabba. I can't begin to imagine what they're going through at this difficult time for them as they try to come to terms with the loss of their loved one.
Really?
I know there is a great deal of concern out there about this incident. The community are hurt and there is trauma.
There's trauma, guys. There's trauma. Where is that level of apology now? It gets worse. The political left across the world were outraged. What about this? Do you remember this? George Floyd. I can't breathe. Henry Nowak couldn't breathe. Where are all these white liberals now? Where are you guys? Very quiet. Absolutely quiet. Denise says, just joined Tousi TV Plus a few days ago and thanks for standing up for the truth. One day the sheeple will open their eyes. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much and thank you for the support and welcome to the gang. Dagenham Dave says, I thought Starmer was getting deported from government. What happened? There is a by-election in a few weeks' time, in a couple of weeks' time. Andy Burnham, who is going to be challenging Keir Starmer over his leadership. He has to win that by-election, become an MP, then he can do the leadership challenge, and then Keir Starmer will go. I thought Sikhs were a decent lot. What is going on here? It's because you speak like a left-winger. The political left speak like this, Dagenham Dave, that they think all groups of people, it's about identity politics. Everyone's the same. So all blondes are the same. All gingers are the same. All Jews are the same. All Nigerians are the same. All people from South Korea are the same. Every single person from Denmark is the same. Like literally, there are no crimes by the Danish, right? Everybody in Sweden is gay, right? Everybody in Scotland only eats bacon. Nothing else. They don't even eat lamb. Everybody in Canada plays hockey. Everybody. That's how the political left speaks. That's not how the real life works. Well, everybody in the Sikh community is decent now. Like literally, there are no criminals. That's not how it works. That's identity politics. You need to stay away from categorization of saying every single person of this group is good or evil or bad. That's not how it works. White lad cuffed while dying. Police more concerned about alleged racism. Sikh murderer taken away without handcuffs, not to tear, says Keir. Yeah, it's absolutely insane that they didn't even handcuff him. And they took him to the kitchen to pick his food. Demographics that don't riot treated like S. Demographics that riot also treated like S. Have you not seen Paris? Discussing these police officers, I'm shocked. Police officers should be jailed. They should be prosecuted. Yes. Starmer, you have blood on your on their hands. On their hands or your hands? Okay. How many more? Rest in peace, you lovely boy, and condolences to all their family. Yep. It's becoming just like South Africa. There are more race laws in South Africa now against whites than there ever were against blacks under the apartheid. Gross. Our Tousi TV Plus team, our documentary team, have just returned from South Africa. They spent a couple of weeks there filming our extremely important documentary about the attacks on the on the white farmers. That documentary is going to be released soon on Tousi TV Plus. Of course, I'll give you guys the information. You can watch all that on Tousi.tv, the website, or the Tousi TV app as well. Tousi, today is the Los Angeles mayor's elections. Any thoughts on Spencer Pratt? Thank you, Jeff. Well, we'll wait for the details of the votes, and of course, we will be giving you guys the latest update on that later on. This was horrifying, so hard to watch, this poor kid. We have the identity of the arresting officer, says Vinny. Your police are mentally ill. They are insane, yeah. And none of it treated like a race crime. They don't care. They don't care about anyone but themselves. Yep. Cops are as guilty as the murderer. Saw the video, he was pale, white, signs of loss of blood. They did nothing. Those cops need to be charged with dereliction and manslaughter. Well, yeah, I mean, but it's not going to happen. It's the UK. What do you expect? F their privacy, says Ivan. The family, yep. The officers who handcuffed him are a disgrace and should lose their positions and lose their pensions. No, they should also be prosecuted. That's not enough. 21 years too short. Life without parole better. Yep. And basic food. Just give him potatoes every day. That's it. Why wasn't the lying brother prosecuted? The mother has been. She's been convicted. We're just waiting for the sentencing in a couple of weeks' time. TV News showed the raw footage. I had to look away. Cannot watch it. Justice for Henry, says Elaine. Let's not scapegoat the officers. It's not scapegoating when you're literally addressing every single group. This is just insanity. The people who are defending the police are absolutely insane. In my opinion, it's deliberate institutional anti-British racism directed from the top and forced by politicians and legal system. Well, obviously, this is not really some sort of rocket science. Every single person should be prosecuted and punished. Every single person. The police officers, this is not scapegoating. You can multitask. Oh, we can multitask in this country. The police officer is responsible. The officers who gave the command, the head of the police, the Home Secretary, the Prime Minister, the Permanent Secretary of the Home Office, every single person, the DEI officers and agents in the Home Office, every single person investigated, prosecuted, all policies reversed. Scrap them all. Scrap all the politically correct policies. And do not allow the police officers who neglected and caused Henry's death to get away with this by just saying, well, it's scapegoating. They didn't do anything. They did not do their job properly. That part has nothing to do with institutional anti-white racism. That part is just pure, at least, incompetence by the police. That part was just basic tick box that they did not do. Check for the stabbings. Listen to the person. Scapegoat. This is horrific. I'm very sorry for the nice young man and his family. God bless. Can cops be sued? No. Not really in this country. You have the same problem we have. The people are electing dumbasses who are hiring more dumbasses. Yep. South Hamilton Police Department leadership should be as much responsibility as the patrol officers, don't you find? Southampton. Yes. Southampton. Yes, of course. The mom, dad and brother are back in court on new charges today. Southampton court, get up there, guys. There they are. There's going to be protests there throughout the day and from 6 p.m. outside the police station in Southampton. So, of course, as I said, we're going to give you guys the live coverage on that. Anyway, we'll wait for more information to come out and continue our live coverage on this channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.